Hey everybody, thanks for coming by to spend some time with us. I'm Dan Fiden. I'm the president of Cloud9, which is the esports org that owns London Spitfire. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay, that's better. I'm supposed to talk into this thing? I'll repeat that. Hey, I'm Dan Fiden. I'm the president of Cloud9. Which is the organization that owns the London Spitfire. Thank you guys for coming out to spend a little bit of time to hear about us. So I'm here with a few members of the org. I'm going to kind of introduce people from my left to right. Jae-hee Hong, Gesture, is right here. Robin is here to translate. Okay, and then Chanyoung Baek. Yes. I've been practicing pronouncing. My Korean is poor. Fissure, and then Bishop is our head coach over on the end. So yeah, I think we're going to show a video, and then we can do some questions. So why don't we go ahead and do that?
경기 자체만 재밌으면은 라인하르트가 제일 재밌는 것 같아요. 네, 그럴 거면 전 6명 전부 다 잘해야 되는 판이어가지고 간혹 나와요.
맥클이요. 그 이유는 제가 원래 메인 탱커긴 한데 뭐 히트 스캔 영웅들 하는 걸 워낙 좋아해가지고 맥클이 많이 하기도 했고 재밌어가지고 많이 해요. 오버워치 경쟁전 시즌으로 이 시즌에 이제 랭킹 한 20등 뭐 그렇게 찍으면서 할 수 있겠다라고 느꼈던 것 같아요.
뭐 그렇게까지 자세하게는 사실 정확하게는 모르겠지만 제가 중학교 때부터 그냥 게임 좋아했기 때문에 중학교 때부터 쭉 달려왔어요. 다른 게임에서 시작해가지고 오버워치까지 오는데 거의 모든 시간을 썼죠.
그 당시에 이제 저희 전팀 GC 부산이 뭐 우승하고 그랬었는데 이제 저희가 뭐 이제 팀 단체로 오퍼 왔다는 게 뭐 기뻤던 것 같아요. 같이 갈 수 있어서.
사실 별다른 감흥은 없었어요. 왜냐면은 저희가 그 당시 워낙 강팀이기도 했었고 당연히 갈 거라고 생각을 했었고 그 팀이 어느 팀이 좋은 선택을 했는지가 궁금했을 뿐 저희가 가는 거는 의견이었다고. 새로 먹어본 음식은 아직까지는 크게 없는 것 같아요. 근데 뭐 똑같은 음식이어도 똑같은 이름의 음식이어도 다른 맛이 나는 건 좀 많이 있었어요. 저는 뭐 햄버거인데 한국이랑 좀 다르더라고요. 한국은 소스 맛이 강한데 여기 외국 같은 경우는 고기 맛이 강하더라고요. 근데 그것도 그거 나름대로 맛있는 것 같아요. 되게
워낙 음식을 딱히 가리는 편이 아니어서 그냥 아무거나 다 먹는데 굳이 따지면 그 있잖아요. 그 뭐지? 윙스탑 그 소금구이 치킨 아니 소금구이가 아니고 파마산 머시기 그 치즈 치킨 그게 맛있어요. 뭐 그냥 한국에 비해서 특이했던 건 좀 사람들이랑 이제 뭐 약간 모르는 사람이나 막 처음 만난 사람들끼리도 친근하게 대하고 그런 게 좀 재밌는 것 같아요.
아직까지 없는 것 같아요. 왜냐면은 여태까지 프리시즌 연습하느라 딱히 휴가를 받지 못했었고 이제 휴가를 받았기 때문에 이제부터 그걸 찾아다녀야죠.
가장 기대되는 거요? 그냥 무대에 서는 게 기대가 돼요. 그리고 굳이 다른 팀하고 경기를 생각하면 뭐 서울 팀하고 경기가 좀 기대돼요.
아마도 댈러스와의 대결 그리고 서울과의 대결 이 두 팀이 가장 흥미진진하게 커뮤니티를 달구지 않을까 생각해요.
Hashtag paid by Wingstop. I saw the first cut of that video, and I immediately talked to our sales folks, and I said, does anyone have Wingstop's telephone number? Anyway, so yeah, we just want to turn it over to you guys for some questions for any of us, so just fire away.
Hi there, Adam from Action Esports. We're based in the U.S. So I want to kind of approach something I know that's been kind of beaten to death a little bit, but we have a situation here where we have an NA organization fielding a Korean team for a European city. What are some of the challenges that you face in building a presence with the British audience? I know a little bit about Red Eye helping you get that presence going and stuff. Can you elaborate a little bit on what that relationship is like and what the process of building that presence has been for you?
Yeah, so we're trying to accomplish a couple of different things simultaneously. One is we want to make content and build a brand that resonates for our players, particularly in the UK, but all over the world. We think that we'll have a fan base everywhere. But it's tough, right? The second thing that we're trying to accomplish is we want to win. And I think that we had the opportunity to work with a group of players that's really exceptional. And so we made the decision to invest in a coaching staff and a player base that we feel like has a tremendous opportunity to perform really well in the league in Season 1. And we think that our fans, no matter where they're based, but especially in Britain, are going to want to win. And so we're hoping to deliver that to them. But the second piece is we really want to make sure that that we're relating to the fans in a way that feels natural and organic. So throughout the process of building out the Spitfire brand and even before kind of ultimately making the decision about what kind of a roster we were going to put together, we've been really lucky to have friends like Paul, Red Eye, and folks like Tom, Stuart, Stylosa, who have been involved with us from the beginning in this process, just to make sure that we're kind of using them as a little bit of a proxy for what the UK fan base expects of us. And we intend to leverage them to help guide our kind of content creation, our community interaction, our social media, for both the London Spitfire and our EU-based contenders team, which we haven't announced yet, but we will soon. And really kind of help define the voice and give our fans a little bit of a sense of who the players are as people, not just as players. Like, clearly, you can watch these guys in VODs and in the games, and they're pretty good, But they're also really, really terrific people, and that's always a big part of what our org looks for. And we think that once we have a chance to give people a little bit more of a sense of that, it's gonna resonate for our fans in the UK. The reality is that London is one of the most international cities in the world, and it's filled with professional sports organizations that have players from all over the world. So we want to make sure that we talk to our fans directly, but we're not overly concerned that it's going to be a problem for them. We think that once they get to know the players and watch them perform, they're going to love them as much as everybody inside the org does.
Hi, Brandon from Overwatch Score, which is based here in America. We actually just had a roundtable with Red Eye as well. It was very informative. I wanted to ask, a lot of teams have been bringing up talks about sustainable practices within their team, hiring performance coaches, people to help with the mentality, not burning out, things like that. What steps have you guys as an organization taken to make sure that your team stays successful in a sustainable way?
Bishop, maybe I'll just, as within our org, we have, tremendous resources that we leverage across the different games that we're involved in. We've got a full-time sports psychologist. We have, head of nutrition. We have a head of performance data science. So we have a lot of infrastructure that's designed to help our coaches and players do well. But I mean, ultimately, it's Bishop's job to make sure that he's designing a program that works best for the players. So I'll hand it over to him.
The leadership of Cloud9 has really supported me in creating a full and powerful staff to really allow for sustainable environment where the players can constantly be performing at their best. We have 3 coaches, including me, that oversee the direction in which the players practice at. Could you ask your question again, please? Okay, right. So, other than Dan mentioned, we have a rather large roster, and even with a staff of 3 coaches, oftentimes we find it a challenge. But because we have such a full roster, I've been asked a lot of the time, what the players on the bench, our standby roster, are doing, and we're making sure that they're just as involved as the players are in the main roster. An example of this would be they're constantly analyzing and looking at the videos along with the coaches. And another thing that we're doing is having our standby roster prepare for stage 2. As you all know, there are separate map pools in each stage. There are going to be numerous patches. For example, in stage 2, we expect Mercy to be heavily nerfed, and we're preparing our other players in advance to kind of remedy that short amount of time that we have at the end of stage 1 and to transition to stage 2 smoothly. So hopefully that answers your question.
Any other questions?
Okay, in mentioning the large roster size as well, what have you guys been doing, I should say, to make sure that all 12 of those people integrate together, not only in a gameplay sense, but in a social sense, to make sure that they can function effectively as a unit? What are you guys doing outside of the game to make sure that everybody's getting along, essentially?
Well, for example, for Christmas, we had a little event that the staff put together for these guys. We had a little Secret Santa event, played some Overwatch charades, which is hilarious. But most of our integration coming together has been Overwatch, really. And I feel that's the best way for everyone to become one together as a team. But we're looking into, like Dan mentioned, we're creating a lot of content together, and the players are getting along very well, learning English a lot. This is a big challenge for the players because they've never really been abroad. This is their first time coming here to the States, so we're really making sure that everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, just for me, who probably, thankfully for the organization, doesn't get involved too much in coaching or player decisions. But when I have the opportunity to kind of watch Bishop and all of the players get together, there's no sense. I have no sense that it's 2 separate rosters at all, and that at least for me seemed to happen pretty quickly. And I think to Bishop's point, it's kind of an amazing thing that everyone involved with OWL is doing. There are a lot of folks who've moved here to LA, and they're all living together, and we're building this league together, as a group, and I think it's probably a kind of a binding experience. Plus they're, in a not enormous practice room, 10 hours a day with one another, which can make friends pretty quickly.
Adam from Action Esports again. So over the course of the day, we've heard a lot from various organizations about trying to improve quality of player life and player sustainability, player protections and stuff. And while all these are really good steps, is there anything more that you would like to see done, or steps that you would like to take in the future, maybe after you see kind of how the first season of Overwatch League pans out?
Yeah. Cloud9 as an org was one of or the first org in North America to provide things like health insurance and retirement planning and all of that. And so within our org, that's kind of been happening for a while. I think that the Overwatch League and everyone at Activision has taken really terrific steps to ensure that the players are being treated as the professionals they are, right? And and that they're being kind of compensated and taken care of in the way that they should be, which is great. I think one of the things that I'm looking forward to seeing evolve in season 2 and beyond is the interaction between OWL and contenders. I think that right now the league is doing some really great stuff to ensure that folks who are playing in contenders have an opportunity, if given an opportunity, if kind of approached with an opportunity, they're able to kind of move up into OWL. But I really think there's probably some further evolution that we could see around making sure that contenders and OWL are kind of there's a logical way to really invest in developing talent over the very long term.
Hey, Dennis from Instance Lab. Something for the players maybe. Gesture and Fissure are probably some of the best tanks in the world, and in Overwatch leagues there will be a lot of good tanks, but there are a lot more Koreans that are still in Korea and are not in Overwatch League. Are there maybe some players that they would have liked to compete against that are not in Overwatch League right now?
오버워치 리그에 지금 탱커 2명 퇴장하고 있는데 네, 아직 리그 참여하는 한국이나 여러 가지 탱커 분야는 많이 힘들고 많아가지고 혹시 현대해보고 싶은
두 명한테 물어보고.
So just to clarify, you asked if they have any teams or main tanks they want to go against, correct? Yeah.
한국 팀에서 메인 탱커를 담당하고 있는 선수 중에서는 뉴욕에 있는 만우 선수가 가장 상대해보고 싶은 선수고요. 외국 팀 중에서 상대해보고 싶은 선수는 무마 선수가 가장 강하다고 생각해서 그 선수랑 가장 재밌는 경기를 만들고 싶어요.
Among
그것도
So I'm just going to finish what he said. Among the Korean players that are a part of Overwatch League, I think Manu from New York Excelsior is a very strong player, and I think going against him will create exciting matches. And among non-Korean players, I think Muma is a really strong tank player as well, and yeah, I would like to face him as well. And he's thinking about players in Korea that are not in the Overwatch League yet.
없는 것 같습니다.
I can't really think of anyone.
다른 팀에서 중에서는 야누스 선수가 그나마 붙어보고 싶고, 근데 저희 팀 이제 저 말고 다른 피셔 선수가 워낙 다른 팀 메인 탱커에 비해 잘한다고 생각을 해서 딱히 피셔 선수 말고는 생각해 본 적 없는 것 같아요.
So among players from other teams, I think Yanis is really good. However, I think Fissure over here is a really, really good tank. So I haven't really thought about any other tanks.
All right, and we have time for one last question.
All right, one more time. Adam from Action Esports. So for at least the next 2 years, Overwatch League is obviously based in Los Angeles. And then from there, obviously, we're moving to a more localized venue style. So how is your interaction with the fans going to change between interacting with the LA fans, with all the teams here at once, towards the more local fans once you transition to your home city?
Yeah, so that's a process that we're starting immediately. One of the initiatives that I'm kind of working on is building out our facility in London. It's something that I've talked about to some of you folks before, mostly because I just think it's really cool and it's going to be exciting. But it'll be a residential and a business office and a practice facility for our players, Overwatch players, and potentially players of other games if we decide to have teams that are based there. But then there'll be a venue and kind of a community public component to the facility where you know, our goal is to build a place that people who want to compete in kind of an organized league after work can go and, you know, kind of put together a team and get, you know, kind of junior London Spitfire jerseys and play against, you know, some other team or you know, a little league style league. And you can also go there and get, you know, go to sessions, kind of training sessions with our players. We'll do a little seminar and talk about, you know, some of the things that they do to be as good as they are. And then you can also just kind of go there and watch matches. When the Spitfire isn't playing in London, it'll be a place where you can go and, you know, order a burger and a beer and watch them play. It's the kind of place that I want to go, and I think that a lot of our players and staff feel the same way, and so that's what we're trying to build out. We're deep in conversations with kind of development partners, some of which are property developers in central London. Others are kind of premiership football teams that are building out facilities right now in London. And there's just a lot of enthusiasm within that group to kind of do something with us and do something within esports. My hope is that, you know, even before the Overwatch League starts doing travel games, that space will be the literal home base of our contenders team and potentially other teams. And then it'll be the emotional home base, you know, until these guys start playing in London.
All right. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thanks, guys.